Shalom Yashala Shalom. Brakath Yahawah, Brakath Yahawashi. Brakath Yahawah, Brakath Yahawashi. Brakath Yahawah, Brakath Yahawashi. Bahasham, Brakaha Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who teach one and rule, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth and risking their own lives through the four corners of the earth. To the Aquith, listen and learning, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp here in Toronto with another lesson. We'll get right into it. Right, you see the title, right? I'm not gonna say it, cause these algorithms, they'll cut off. The algorithm. You can't speak on these things, right? Right. 26 cases in Florida, 7 fatal, right? 24 of the cases, right? At least 24, and 6 of the fatalities have been among, right? The Most High is visiting this place, man, right? Roughly half have occurred, right? Northern Kingdom. New cases are still being, right? Our Most High is visiting this place. Let's get a scripture. Sirach chapter 40, verse 8. And it reads, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, right? Judgments happen unto all flesh, man. Both man and beast. And that is sevenfold more upon sinners, right? Sevenfold more upon sinners, Israelites. Israel being a people before a place. So-called indigenous, so-called Latino, so-called Negro. Right? Sevenfold more. A complete amount of times more upon Israelites, man. The law was only given to the Israelites. Israelites are only under the covenant. So sevenfold more upon Israelites. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, right? Calamities.
Calamity.
An event that brings terrible loss, lasting distress or severe affliction, a disaster. Dire distress resulting from loss or tragedy. Any great misfortune or cause of misery. In general, any event or disaster which produces extensive evils, right? Evil means bad times. As loss of crops, earthquakes, right? Earthquakes. Daily. Loss of crops. This is a segue into the next headline. But also apply to any misfortune which brings great distress upon a single person. Misfortune, distress, adversity, right? This place. The Most High is visiting this place, man. Sirach 40 verse 9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, right? You wicked 2/3. The wicked, according to scripture, you Edomites, and the wicked heathen nations. And for their sakes came the flood, right? And the Most High is not playing. Okay? Right? Yesterday was words. Yesterday was news article release of polio shirts in the UK, man. Right? Polo shirts. Right? This one right here. Western Kansas wheat crops are dead. There's nothing out there, says farmer. Right? These crops are being visited. Who's visiting them? The Most High Yahawashi. right? Yeah, Esau uses harp, but it's the Most High Yahawah Shai who gave Esau Edom that technology. In a normal year, America's heartland would be brimming with lush green wheat crops, but this is not a normal year. According to reports, western Kansas is a wasteland of parched, dead fields. Wheat crops have been decimated, which means the American food supply will suffer yet another major blow. There's nothing out there, says Vance Emk, a wheat farmer from Lane County. It's dead. It's just ankle-high straw. MK's farm is one of many that, after being planted several months ago, now looks like a dust bowl. What scripture comes to mind? 2nd Ezra 15, verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, America, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, right? Farmers, they're mourning. For their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, right? So-called weather phenomena. The Most High is doing this. And with a fearful constellation, right? The forecasts of weather are not good. The skies, they're looking into the skies. Red skies at night means what? What is it? Storm the next day, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Right? Rows of brown shriveled plants nest in hardened dirt that is now scarred with deep cracks due to a lack of water combined with the relentless beating sun. Another scripture. Suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses appear empty. Paraphrasing. Sirach 6, Salakia, 2nd Ezra 6, verse 23. And it reads, verse 22. Sirach 6, verse 22. 2nd Ezra 6, verse 22. Salakia. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The planted places, the farmers' fields, they suddenly appear unsown. We just read in this article, the man said his rows of brown shriveled plants looks like a dust bowl, right? And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, right? The distribution centers, the supermarkets, the shelves are emptier and emptier, man. You know what I mean? Food not run, right? A time is coming where there's going to be no food out here, where it's going to be invading of one another's homes with sword because of lack of bread and great tribulation, roughly paraphrasing. Right? These are the times that are coming. Right? The Most High is visiting this place. Ezekiel 7, verse 5. Thus saith Yahawah power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come, right? Evil meaning bad times. And only evil, only bad times. Behold is come, right? Only bad times is coming. Right? This place ain't getting better. This place it's not gonna get better. Netflix cuts 300 employees in new round of layoffs, right? No jobs. About 216 staffers impacted were working in the US and Canada, right? 216 workers within the US and Canada. Babylon the Great. Of the 300 employees are in Babylon. No work. Isaiah 19, the points in 15. Isaiah 19, verse 14. The Lord, all caps, Yahawah, hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, right? A perverse spirit is within America the Great, Babylon the Great. Decepticons, the spirit of Decepticons and Autobots and Transformers and Alphabet Boys, right? And they have caused Egypt to err, right? America, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom, to err, meaning to wander, in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, right? Let's look in this word err, right? And this is America the Great today, man. Right? Wandering in what? The perverse spirit in the Hebrew.
Strong's H 8582. Ta'ah. Ta'ah.
Right. Physically to wander. Of sin ethically, right? Alphabet boys. Transformers, Decepticons, Autobots. Of the mind wandering. Ethically to be led astray. Mentally and morally to cause to err, mislead. Right. America the Great, Babylon the Great is mentally and morally misled. Wandering in wickedness. Seduced by wickedness. Cause to make to err, pant, seduce, make to stagger. Right. America the Great, Babylon the Great. A perverse spirit. And the Most High steady judge in this place. And the judgments are going to continue to increase. Right? Verse 15, here's the point. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, America, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Right? All levels, white collar, blue collar, corporate, mom and pops, grassroots, the head or tail, the top, the bottom. No work out here, man. Right? And these things are going to continue to increase. JP Morgan fires hundreds of mortgage bankers as housing market breaks. Right? Big bank JP Morgan firing thousands, says hundreds. Down here it says when the bank decided that more than 1,000 workers will be affected by the slowdown in housing, with roughly half fired, right, 500, and the other half moved to other less paying divisions within the bank. Bloomberg reports, right? So the ones that are still there, they're getting less money, right? And the money not stretch. Inflation, right? Logistics giant DB Schenker announces layoffs in Texas, right? Food logistics, food distribution. Logistics giant DB Schenker announces layoffs in Texas. DB Schenker says it's laying off 130 employees from a Kraft Heinz distribution center near Fort Worth, Texas, according to a notice sent to state officials Tuesday. The layoffs are permanent. DB Schenker has no plans at this time to operate at the Fort Worth site. Kraft Heinz says it's not closing the distribution center, which will remain open and employs almost 200 workers. Pittsburgh-based Kraft Heinz said it's ending its relationship with DB Schenker as a third-party logistics provider for the facility. DHL will serve as the new logistics provider effective June 26, a couple of days from now. DHL is a German logistics company providing global transportation services. Germany-based DB Schenker is the logistics division of the German rail operator Deutsche Bahn. Right. Food movement. Right? No jobs. Right? And Mosai is visiting this place. Right? This place is through, man. Right? Pestilence, plagues. Right? Food, famines. Right? And no work. Shalom.